This is an introduction to Advocate app for Apple iPad. The first thing you notice, we have an update badge indicating updates are available for the application, and this is done to keep you in line with updates to Magistrates Court sentencing guidelines, civil or criminal procedure rules. We just start the app, we can see it's laid out with a list of offences, criminal procedure rules, and civil procedure rules, so that's really your reference guide for use in court. Within Setup, you can configure connection into different cloud systems for distributing client information. We can configure our client information, so if we require perhaps more than first name and surname, I could add a new property such as date of birth, perhaps a national insurance number, whatever reference you need to add for that particular client. And we can also move these items around by simply clicking and moving that around to suit the format you require. So this is a common field list for all the clients we have within the application. We wouldn't want to make this too long, but enough to support recognition of that client correctly. Okay, so that's set up our client information. We can now go to add specific documents for our clients. So to add documents into our iPad, we simply load iTunes, connect our iPad to our computer, Mac or PC, click on Apps, click on Advocate app, and click the Add button, and browse to our documents. And these are our documents we require for today's hearings. We sync that into our iPad, go back to our application, do refresh of our documents, and we can see a list of case information and supporting documents for our court hearings. So we can now go to our clients and start to manage information for our next session. So if we add in our next client, John Smith, just put a date of birth in here. And we've got our client information formed for John Smith. We can go back to our documents and add against our client the documents relevant to that particular client. So we have a character reference and we have advanced information from the CPS. So against the client John Smith, I have built up the existing documents I require, and we can then identify the offences for which we're hearing for this client today. So we can use this offence index by act, by page, by group, and we could perhaps go down to a public order offence, perhaps it was an affray. If there were multiple offences, we can simply keep adding these until we've completed that particular list of items for this client. So we'll just add a few more just so we can see these adding in to the list of favourites for this particular client. So once we've collected these fields together, we can view that particular offence. We can scroll through any other information in the Magistrates Court sentencing guides. And we can also optionally view these documents in Adobe Reader, which helps us view the bookmarks that would have been created by the CPS. So in addition to documents we've received from prosecution and offences that we've highlighted for this particular client, we can also add into the system forms that have been prepared by the Ministry of Justice for use within this particular client. I can also add in a new attendance note. So this is attendance note for John Smith at a particular court. And we can complete preparation of attendance, any additional advice given for this particular client, the outcome, action to be taken, and this can be, when completed, emailed back to our office for processing or printed out to an air printer. So that's then stored and saved against this particular client, and we can keep adding in additional items to support this client presentation. So new proof of evidence or new attendance notes. Once we've finished with a particular client hearing, we can then switch over to another client so that any favourites now marked go against this particular record. So a new client, this happens to be a speeding, no insurance, and mobile phone, and we can see that gives us a link directly to those offences for support of our case in court. That's a quick introduction to the Advocate app.